So I started off by just kind of blurting out on my little, with my thumbs, just kind of blurting out in print there. I said, biblically and theologically, one's personal psychological goal should not be to live in the present per se, as the first and foremost key to experiential wholeness. The source of experiential wholeness for biblical Christians is not which frame of time you are observing, not of choosing the past or the present or the future, but of choosing truth and beauty, of choosing faith and hope, of choosing that which is of God, choosing divine beauty wherever it may be found. See, for example, Philippians chapter 4. And of course, God is at the top of that. God is the center of that. God is our number one focus that brings redemption to misery. So let's reframe. When someone chooses to live mindfully in the present, quote unquote, every beautiful thing that he notices in the present is one of the rays of goodness that come from God. Common grace, the imago Dei in humankind, creation as created well by God, the fingerprints of God in nature, the ethical imprint of the divine wisdom, etc. God's goodness is everywhere, and the question is whether we choose to see it. So, if the past is beautiful and the present is excruciatingly painful in every way, the Christian in that situation is not stuck with these presentist maxims, but instead he can still rejoice in the goodness of God. He can feast on the recognition of God's goodness seen in the beauty of the past, which remains real as part of that open canvas lying open before God, and which is especially beautiful because it parallels something far more glorious in the future, which God sees in picturesque parallel, and one day we probably will too. The past is almost always in some way in parallel, in picturesque, beautiful parallel with the future, whether by way of contrast or by way of repetition and enhancement. I love beautiful memories, even and especially when it seems like something is missing in them. The missing thing is a glorious, screaming emblem of what will one day no longer be missing. Because time isn't God's enemy, it's God's craftsmanship. For the Christian, the present is beautiful, but far more beautiful is God himself, and therefore the goodness of God in every place and time, which of course does include the self, which is the part that modern self-help and Eastern philosophy tends to emphasize. But also, this goodness also includes relationships and community and God's grace to us, since it was God who imagined into existence the idea of social order. Social order, that beautiful coherence that sin and Satan haven't yet been able to fully upend. And in addition to the self, this goodness also includes God's creation in the physicality of the human self as created by God, including such